everything wrong with this boat looks like it's fixed on this one. I would be wider back here and more volume. Hey, look, wider back here, more volume. I don't know what's going on right here. It just goes like that, and it does this on a wave. Yeah, that bow's just terrible.
It's like, it comes up too high on each side like boobs.
This needs to be cut off right here, this much, and this needs to be swelled out. And you'd have a decent boat. The knees were comfortable though. How about this guy? See, he has an agent.
I got mine in 2008.
Yeah. Now I actually like this boat.
I like it. I wish they had a 60-gallon version.
Yeah.
If it was just a little
I think
smaller,
it's what, 55, 65.
It's 60. Yeah.
This is the large. So you were like me. You're caught in between that 65 and 55.
Just too much for me.
Pops really well.
Oh yeah.
If you get that bow going, you go flying.
Yeah. The Jacksons are short like this too. They just they do something with the hull to get it to release a little better.
What was on the? Oh yeah, it's kind of like
this one's got the edge on the stern.
Yeah.
Where it's got kind of like that release edge.
Right there.
I don't know if it's just the rocker profile or what that gets the Jacksons a little bit quicker. It's a much better deal than going out and spending $1,500 on.
I always say that.
Unless you're on the professional level, they all do it.
Hey man, there's nothing wrong with an agent.
Oh, there's something wrong with it. Yeah, there is. Don't do that. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to kind of like do a little throwback review for y'all. I picked this boat up very cheap. Just had a seat track and a seat with nothing else in it. And luckily I had some foam, so I put a foam wall in there, some thigh braces, a back band, and kind of mounted it all down, and now I have a boat. So what is the Dagger Agent? Well, this was a boat that Dagger released. This one came out, let's see if I can see on the serial number here. So this one came out in 07. I think this is one of the first ones out, and it came in 3 sizes. There's a 6.0, 6.2, and 6.4. The 6.4 is the larger one. And what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to kind of like go through the specs with y'all first, and then I'll go through kind of like a rapid fire little walkthrough and show you the parts and pieces on this. Okay, so right here you see 6.4, and what does the 6.4 mean? It's 6 foot 4 inches as far as length. There is a 6.0 and 6.2, and that's length. Width on this thing is, I'm thinking it's right around 25.75, maybe somewhere in that. I'm going on memory on this, everybody. Volume is 59 gallons of volume on this thing. Weight range on the 6.4 is like 165 to like 225 or something like that. One thing that I definitely like about this boat, if you like a boat that's light, I think this one's about 32 pounds. It's a pretty light boat if you want. Let's go ahead and let's start back here with the kind of walkthrough. Number one, no drain plug. It's a spud boat, well, kind of a spud. This is something very unusual. It's a tapered down flat tail. This is kind of like, if you're looking at it, you're seeing what it is a hybrid spud full slice is the best way I can describe it. The graphics, the agent, you know what, you got a little thumbprint there. You probably want to be an agent if you want. You probably don't want anybody seeing you paddling this thing. Security bar, nice cutout for security bar on this. This seat, I think, was called the Vector seat. It's a thermoform seat, and it goes, this is the pleasure wedger. This was kind of like the first version of the leg lifter that's currently in the Dagger boats now. You can move that and it lowers that down. If you want to adjust the seat, you just adjust it right here. And when this isn't in there, it's in a like a stud that comes out of this track. This track is welded to the hull. It is not taped. See the weld? So that's welded down to the hull. Water bottle goes right there. I actually found an old Dagger water bottle laying around. The hip pads are pretty good. Decent hip pads, they work well. This back band, this did come with 2 versions. It at first had something called a flip switch, which is like kind of like a little gate opener that you adjust back here, and then you adjust it. It just pulls one right here, but I had a ratcheted back band laying around, so I put it in here. So I got a ratcheted back band. This did come with ratcheted back bands in the later models. I think this was in Dagger's lineup for maybe 3 years. I could be wrong on that, maybe 4 actually. It went in the lineup for a while. The foam wall, it's basic foam down in there, not much parts on this thing. You see this hole right here? This was something called an over thruster that Dagger used to do to add extra volume. It would go on there like that. And this was patented by Merson Research. That's why it has IR on it and a Dagger logo. This is one of the older ones that were molded for Dagger. You can see it because I used to paddle a Jitsu a lot, and that's what that one went to. It was my old Jitsu. Security bar up here, you will hit your hands on that from time to time. Cartwheeling, you got to be careful. Was not a fan of that. That right there holds the D-bone, or technically the wall holder. It clips in. You could take that wall out and adjust it. Foam. I wouldn't really put this as a spud. It's dipped in here. It's very low volume right here, and it's narrow up here. You can see that. Not the biggest fan of it. One thing that's kind of crazy, that amount of, it has like a slight kick rocker here and a really fast kick rocker here. The chine goes down, steps in, and then it kind of like, this is something kind of weird that Dagger did for a while. Let me roll it on over. Very flat planing surface, and it had this kind of weird chine that stepped in here and then dropped down. Maybe Dagger should revisit this because I think it's different. I like how that edge went right there. Very deep cut out, and it runs all the way from tip to tip. The edges were aggressive, I think, and it's very narrow from here to here. It's a very narrow hole, and it paddles that way. Looking at it going down right here. I'm already 50-50 on this thing. So let's get it on the water now. Overall, it's pretty comfortable at my size. I feel like this is the correct size for me.
Something I could never learn how to do.
Well, you got the right boat for it. Right away, this thing feels like it floats me nicely. What do you think? It feels like it stars.
I would say you could move it forward one notch.
A little farther forward.
Just looking at it.
Yeah.
Your tail's kind of submerged.
Well, this bow's got almost
But
no
it's not
rock.
terrible.
Yeah, I was always worried if this bow would be. It's right in the center. He's going for the nasty.
Phonics monkeys, come on, man.
Well, you had the tail was flat.
I wasn't trying to do the nasty. They're so cool. What I'm feeling, this thing is oddly balanced. Like it's kind of slicey. It's not a bad surface boat. It just kind of like couples around. Like they went so narrow and low volume right here. It's doing some crazy stuff. Like when you go to cartwheel, it wants to kind of go left and right. It doesn't have a smooth rotation to it. I definitely see why this boat didn't do very well. I mean, it's probably me also.
It's like the ram. You ever paddle that one?
Yes, the piranha ram.
Terrible.
It's like the balance is off on this thing. Woo! The tail's quick on it. Quick to move around. It just moves around very fast. Yeah. Oh, that was nice. It's weird on that back hill. There's something kind of crazy going on back there. I can't put my finger on it. I think because it's rockered and low volume, it wants to kind of get a little loosey-goosey in the way. It seems like it's fairly stable going downriver. It's just the ends are very oddly balanced. Alright, so now I'm just going to do a little river running with this thing. See how it does. I think this is more of a downriver top play boat. It actually paddles pretty decent downriver. I kind of like the feel of it. It's a little longer than a Rockstar, and it stays on the water a little more, which is not that good for hull playing, but paddling downriver, that's actually not bad. It feels like a hybrid spud full slide. That makes any sense. It's like they were trying to figure out, they didn't want to go too much volume, afraid they'd take away the cartwheel. So then not enough volume, you don't have much pop, and it doesn't do well in a big hole. See, watch it, it's not bad. Wasn't bad at all, considering, I mean, what kind of boat it is. If you didn't want to paddle a full-on spud, this might be more of a boat for you. It's not the easiest to pop. Now, I haven't got it in any big holes. This is not a really good play boating spot. If you got the lower volume, I think it'd be very weird, because then you lose that river running ability and kind of that playability. So it'd be kind of in that weird category. This doesn't play as good as I thought it would. I was expecting a lot more play out of this thing. This one, me right around about 175, 180. I feel like it hits me perfectly. It's wide up here, it's wide in the center, so it floats well. I think it's pretty good river runner player downstream. It let me down in a hole, and as far as its play boating in a hole, on a wave, I think it's going to do well on a big wave, where it kind of struggles on those smaller waves. It wants to kind of go out, and I think it's the rocker in its tail is what's causing that. Would I recommend it? Not really, but if you have the ability to find one real cheap, pick it up. I got it for out here, just something different. The more I paddle it, the more I might get used to it, but I just want to kind of give y'all a throwback review, kind of like my first impressions on these older boats. I love doing this, kind of getting my chance to get in an older school boat and kind of see how much progression we've got. I can tell y'all, this don't even compare to a Jitsu and Rockstar, or even like a Helixer or something like that. Those are Jed. Those are so far ahead of this boat. I would recommend, and now if you're looking for a play boat and you've got the money to spend, get one of those over this all day. But like if you find one cheap, pick you up an agent if it's what you want to paddle. But still, honestly, I'd rather paddle river runner, half life, creekers, long boats over these type of boats all day. So you guys leave in the comments below if you've paddled this boat, whether it's the 6.0, 6.2, or 6.4, and what you thought about it. Do you think it's a good design? If you hate the thing, let me know. So yeah, there it is, everybody. That's all I got on the Dagger Agent, the secret agent. See you on the next video. You said it looks okay?
Looks okay. Didn't look like the best paddling boat out there.
Really?
The bow's a little weird. I like the stern. Bow's a little it's not really slicing, it's not really poppy.
And it paddles like that. It does. It paddles just like that. It kind of doesn't know what it wants to be. Yeah, it's got an identity crisis.